Hello, my loves. Today we are going to do a love note writing exercise. Before I jump in, I want to tell you about a time-sensitive, divinely timed opportunity. As you probably know, Heart Centered Planner is ready for ordering. If you are listening to this episode when it drops, which is Wednesday, September 25th, you need to know that tomorrow, September 26th, is the last day to order planners to guarantee that you get them in your hands and the hands of your teams and the people that you love for the first week of December. So let me just get this into you now, and then we'll get into the beautiful content. So if you go to daniellelaporte.com/shop and you use the code PODPLANNER10, PODPLANNER 10, you enter that at checkout, and you get 10% off your planner order, which is pretty cool. And by the way, planners are shipping worldwide for only $9 expedited, which is super duper cool. Okay, there's one more layer to this. So we've been getting a lot of requests for bulk orders because people want to buy these for their teams. These are mostly people who had the last version of the planner, who would use them for quarterly check-ins and for team gifts at the holidays and client gifts and hostess gifts and all of that. So yes, totally, we are doing a special for bulk orders. So if you're one of those people who want to do one and done, gift your team, all of that, you go to daniellelaporte.com/planner-bulk. That's daniellelaporte.com/planner-bulk. You submit your order. I mean, really, you can do it anytime, but to guarantee delivery for the first week of December and maybe even earlier, if I can really push the printer, you've got to have your bulk order in by Thursday, September 26th, which is tomorrow. And bulk purchases get up to 40% off with the delivery before the holidays. Okay, so that's all your special discount stuff. Let's get into the love. My loves, today I'm going to walk you through this really beautiful, simple reflection where you're going to write some love notes to some unexpected beings. Has nothing to do with alien contact. It has to do with the parts of ourselves that are really easy to love when we're rocking it and succeeding and performing, the kind of things that society rewards us for. Like, for good reason, and the parts of ourselves that are a little more tricky and difficult to hug and embrace and talk to. And then, if you stay with me, and I know you will, we're going to write some love notes to some loves and some people that, we're feeling a little averse to. Okay, so you can do this literally if you want to. You could grab a pencil, put it to paper, press pause in between my prompts, and you could write these love notes. You could actually pop them in the mail, get really old school gangster, and get yourself a stamp, because I think receiving handwritten, sensual things in the post is like gold these days. You may as well send me some gold coins with some gluten-free sourdough bread and ghee wrapped in a linen bread covering thing if you write me a letter. I'll actually read it. Okay, so you roll however you want. Here's how we're going to set this up. First of all, before I get into the cues, what you need to know is that this is part of the relationship reflection that we do every quarter, every 3 months in the Heart-Centered Planner system. What kind of planner have you ever had that has you do weekly nervous system check-ins and a relationship reflection with your inner child and your positive and negative emotions every 3 months? I know you have never had a planner that does this, but the Heart-Centered Planner does this. Okay, relationship reflection with who? You, your inner child. Let me preface this. Your inner child is a symbolic name for the unhealed parts of yourself. So your inner child is not you as a kid. It's your shadow content. It's the stuff that you're here to heal. And how do you heal it? With the light of your unconditional love, your consciousness. So I believe that true progress, like spiritual maturity and a balanced nervous system and having relationships that are more fulfilling, we're more loving and we're more open to love. I think that all comes from getting into right relationship with our inner child. That true progress happens when you are the parent of your inner child, which is to say, when you hold loving responsibility for the fragmented pieces of yourself. So I use the term parent. I think this is why the term inner child is so effective, because when we hear it, we think, oh, gentle, tender, like we're responsible for a being smaller and more vulnerable than ourselves. That being that is smaller and more vulnerable than the wide awake, mature you is called your inner child. And we want to look at that dark, shadowy stuff that sometimes can be really loud and obnoxious and knocks on the door with anxiety and needing a lot of attention. We want to meet that anxiety, that fragmentation, with gentleness, with unwavering acceptance. We want to meet the gnarly parts of ourselves with unconditional love. We want to love them bits the way we wanted to be loved, but the people who were trying to love us were also imperfect and nobody taught them how to do this. But we're going to learn how to do it right now. Okay, so here's the simple journal question that is part of the Heart-Centered Planner relationship reflection. Here we go. First question. You are writing a letter to your inner child, a love note. It goes like this. Dear inner child, tell me how I can support you. That's it. Dear inner child, tell me how I can support you. And you just let it flow. The first answer is going to be the right answer. You are the holder of that shadowy stuff. I will often say, dear baby D, how can I help you come into balance? Or I do this on the regular in the morning and in the evening when I get into bed. I put my right hand on my belly, like you've got your thumb in your belly button. I put my left hand on my heart chakra, and I just say, baby D, or sometimes I say shadow. I just say, what do you need from me right now? Okay, so open-ended question. At least every 3 months, you should be asking yourself. Please ask yourself daily, would you? Dear little you, how can I support you? And then trust what you hear. And I'm going to guess that the answer is not, I want more ice cream or pizza or to stay up late like we want to do when we're kids. This is not about us being kids. This is about us being the healer, looking at our wounded stuff. So it's likely that you're going to get answers from your inner child that are really obvious, healing, holistic, typically simple, basic, healthy requirements like hang out with people who make us laugh. I love naps. I love yoga. I love swimming. I need more hugs. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. This is now where we get into love note mode. So you're going to write a love note. A note doesn't need to be a long multi-page letter. Just a note could be 3 sentences. You're going to write a love note to your positive emotions and aspects of yourself. So this is you appreciating in short form the qualities of yourself that are really easy to acknowledge. So you're going to say, thank you, insert your positive emotion. Because of you, then you answer it. So it's like this. Use myself as an example right now. Positive emotion or aspect of myself would be my generosity. Okay. So I consider that a virtue, a soul quality. It's a daughter of divine love. So I'd write a little love note and I would say, dear generosity, thank you. Thank you. Because of you, I have great friendships. I've had some great parties. I feel expanded. I have abundance, and the foundation of more abundance is abundance. Thank you, generosity. Okay, so easy. It's like a core part of the way I live. Okay. Easy to love. What's not so easy to love? Might want to press pause, think about it, because you're going to write a love note. It doesn't have to be a treatise, to the negative emotions that you relate to, your darker aspects. You're going to actively appreciate the qualities of yourself that are difficult to acknowledge and appreciate. This is the reason most of us are in therapy. These are the things that are hard to admit to ourselves. This is not the shit you put on a resume. Okay, so I'll use myself as an example again, of course, because transparency is great for my brand. Negative aspect of myself. I do not really like my controlling nature, specifically when it comes to my man. And see, as soon as I bring that up, my ego comes up and I want to defend it and say, well, I'm actually not that controlling. Or there are actually times when it's good for him and it's good for me and it's good for the relationship that I should control the situation. You see, this is the inner chatter. But I know there is a shadow side to this where my controlling nature is coming from my unhealed bits, where I don't want to deal with uncertainty. I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to have to rely on myself. I don't want to feel alone. So I will control and make sure I don't get left. Or I don't have to expand. I just have to kind of roll with things if I'm not controlling. So this is how it would go for me. This is my love note. Thank you, controlling nature. Thank you for helping me see that this behavior of mine actually comes from a really tender place that actually wants to be held. Yeah. Wow, that was live. That was live and in real time. That's what's happening. Here, I could add another note in my love note to my controlling nature, the negative aspect of myself, a negative emotion. Actually, that's more of a negative behavior. I would also say that, dear controlling nature, dear controlling behavior, because of you, there's been tension between myself and my beloved, which is something we've had to work through and we get closer. So in a roundabout way, dear controlling nature, you actually bring me closer to one of the people I love the most on the planet. Not easy, but thank you. Other negative emotions, your fear, your anxiety, I don't need to cue you on this. It's really easy to let those negative emotions come to the surface. Okay, you might want to take a deep breath. Might want to just stretch your arms up in the air. We're going to switch gears. We have 2 more love notes to write or to think about or just articulate, or you just come along for the ride on my words and you're considering these things. Okay. The next love note is really kind of classical and typical. It's to someone or to people who you feel really close to, you resonate with. They're really easy to love. They could be in your past, they could be in your present. You could be writing a literal love note that you're going to send to a person. You could text them. You could voice note them right now. Press pause, voice note this to somebody. Or you could just be a rock star and actually write this out. You could, okay, you get the idea. Okay, if it's going to be more conceptual and fantastical, like this is not something you're going to literally send to someone, you could write a love note to a group. Like it could be a love note to the yoga community. It could be a love note to the sisterhood. It could be a love note to the animal kingdom, Okay, pretty straightforward. Thank you, dear person, dear group, dear ideology, because of you. And then you write about all the expansion and the sweetness and how you've grown and all the delight from this relationship. Okay? Straight up, love note. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Now, this next love note is probably something you want to be more conceptual. I doubt you're going to want to send this because it would maybe get twisted in its reception. This love note is to someone or a group of people with whom you feel really separate from that you are averse to. They are challenging. You're having a hard time with them. They could be in your past. They could be present. This could be an individual, a particular person, or it could be a group of people. This could be, I'm not looking at anybody. This could be a political party, perhaps a political candidate. It could be the guy down the hall who's been bitching about you in their parking spot, whatever. Okay, so you can do this. Why? Because you took a deep breath. You let your mind fall into the center of your heart. It's called heart centering. You just breathe into your heart. You have set your intentions to embody love. This is the work. This is the work. So, dear someone or group of people with whom I do not agree, I feel averse to, maybe repelled by, I feel separate, I feel hurt by you, I am enraged, I want to hurt you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you because of you, and you fill in the blanks. Thank you for, let me just put some words into your mouth if you need them. Some can openers for your steely heart. Thank you for showing me my shadow nature because that is why I incarnated. I want to see the dark because I am light. Thank you for showing me that I am stubborn and small-minded. Thank you for showing me where the pain is because it's been begging for my attention in other ways, in little isms and illnesses and interrupted sleep, and I want to be a more loving person. And I know this is the work. You have brought my attention to the reason that I am here in these times. Because of you, I got into therapy and I healed in so many ways. Because of you, I had some really difficult conversations that I thought I would never get to the other side of with somebody else. I learned that I'm on the same page as somebody else, that I have the same concerns, the same amount of love, the same capacity for open-mindedness and gentleness as somebody else. Because of you, I learned how strong I am. I learned how many resources I have. I learned how many people I have in my tribe, on my side, rooting for me. Because of you, I got dysregulated. And I learned what's required for me to get regulated and in balance. And now I lead a much more healthy life because of you. And this might be time to take a deep breath. So, dear inner child, tell me, how can I support you? A love note to your positive emotions and aspects. Easy to love. A love note to your negative emotions and aspects. A little bit more tricky to give your attention to. A love note to the people that are so easy to adore. And a love note to the people who are driving you crazy. Or to the person you hurt the most. Or to the people you just can't understand. Just a few words, 1 or 2 sentences, to get your heart back on track. This is the relationship reflection from the Heart-Centered Planner. And if I do say so myself, this will help you love the way you were born to love. I'm coming back soon, just in a few days, with another episode, and I'll be asking you the most beautiful question as a journal practice. How can I love my way through? Subscribe, leave a comment. Know that the Heart-Centered Planner is out now. Oh, and sign up for subscriptions because it helps us rock the algorithm with love. See you soon with love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word with love.